Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through the stories people are talking about and sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Facebook Facts, the social network, publishes some details about fake accounts and reveals more about itself than we knew before. We take you through some of the interesting numbers. Spike Lee goes all in on Donald J. Trump while in Cannes for his new movie. Ramadan Mubarak, the Islamic holy month of fasting, begins today. We look at how Google tech can be used.
Laurel.
The audio debates driving the internet apart. Are you Team Yanny or Laurel? Now, top of our newsfeed and Facebook, they've released what will now become a twice-yearly list of facts and figures about how the site is used and abused. Now, there's loads of detail in what they're calling their transparency report. Mark Zuckerberg posted that he and his team still have plenty of work to do, especially when it comes to hate speech in different languages. But he says he's working on it. Now, they said that they have fake accounts and they represent approximately 3 to 4% of their active users during the first 3 months of the year. And that number is actually incredible. It's 583 million fake accounts they say have been taken down. That's over 500 million. He also claimed to have taken action on 2.5 million pieces of content which are viewed as hate speech, 1.9 million pieces of terrorist propaganda content, and 3.4 instances of content that contains graphic violence. There was also a really interesting section called Internet Disruptions. That's when a country blocks Facebook for a period of time. Now, these are some of the states that blocked Facebook between January and March. And the country that did it most in the first 3 months of the year was India, apparently, although the report admits it's not exhaustive. Now, you will have seen our coverage this week of the deadly day in Palestine when many were killed by Israeli security forces during demonstrations against the opening of the US Embassy in Jerusalem. Well, Turkey's president has railed against Israel's prime minister online, which turned into a sort of Twitter spat. Well, as you saw in that piece, Monday was the most violent day in Gaza since 2014. Here's the day as told by the numbers. To a country now that has a big part to play in what happened on Monday, America. Now, we all know it has a problem with guns. They're far too easy to get hold of in that country. And the ease of access was the inspiration behind an art installation in the city of Chicago. Take a look at this. All right, let's take you around the world for some other stories you need to know this Wednesday. Cornflakes for all, or perhaps not. The Venezuelan state has taken control of the Kellogg's factory in Caracas after the American multinational said it was ending production due to the political and economic situation in the country. Well, President Nicolas Maduro doesn't care. He said he's begun legal proceedings to give control of that factory to the workers. He said Kellogg's actions were illegal. There will be presidential elections in Venezuela the weekend. A vocal opposition leader in Russia has been jailed for 30 days. Alexei Navalny was arrested last week during anti-President Putin demonstrations in Moscow. Navalny took to social media saying 30 days of arrest for the right to go out to the streets of your city and tell the authorities, "I'm not your slave, I will never be one." The American film director Spike Lee has premiered his new movie, Black Klansman, and used his press conference to attack President Trump. He said that everyone in the world should be concerned that the man who saw equivalence between alt-right racists and people who oppose hate speech has the nuclear codes. Now, Twitter says it's coming for the trolls. The micro-blogging site says it's going to deal with abuse and harassment by monitoring behavior and limiting the visibility of problematic accounts' tweets rather than just deleting tweets and blocking accounts. The CEO said that past efforts were like a game of whack-a-mole. Apparently, this new method is more effective. And the Anne Frank Museum in Amsterdam have published some pages that Miss Frank had covered with paper to prevent her parents from reading. Now, what was in those secret pages? The museum used some new imaging technology to see and found a few dirty jokes and teenagers' thoughts on sex. The author Tom Wolfe has died. He was 88. He was a journalist and a novelist and is best known for his book, The Bonfire at the Vanities. He was also known for wearing the white suits you see him in here, which he did just to annoy people. Now it's the most anticipated film of the year in Bollywood, Race 3, starring Salman Khan. It's so hyped that chat about its trailer has been published and it's worldwide trending. If you've not seen Race 1 and 2, it's time to catch up and time to recognise that Salman Khan is one of the world's highest paid actors. But he has some legal issues. Nia takes up the story.
It's no secret that Salman Khan is an immensely popular actor in India, but every time one of his movies are about to be released or every time a trailer for his film is about to be released, that's when we really get a sense of the fan following the actor enjoys. And that's exactly what happened when the trailer for his upcoming film, Race 3, was released on Twitter by the actor. He started by teasing his fans by putting out clues as to what that trailer will hold. And for 24 hours, we saw him engaging with his fan following in that manner. And finally, at the end of the day on Tuesday, he left that little YouTube clip on his Twitter profile, inviting fans to react and introducing them, in a sense, to his new character in the film Race 3. And as is usually the norm, the trailer has received largely positive reviews from his fans, many of them tweeting to say that they can't wait to watch this film in theaters, many others saying this is just the way they want to see Salman Khan in a completely macho role, trotting guns and walking away from explosions. So a lot of excitement on that front. There are a few who've said that clearly the only thing good about this movie is going to be Salman Khan because the plot line of the film doesn't look like it's going to be very, very great. And all of this is very interesting because it's coming soon after the actor was convicted in that black buck poaching case where he was found guilty of having killed two endangered black bucks in 1998 during the shooting of a film. And in spite of that, clearly his fans are not dissuaded. They're waiting to watch Salman Khan's films. And this has usually been the case because the actor was previously also convicted in a hit-and-run case in Mumbai, but that didn't change how his movies were received. In fact, Salman Khan holds the record in a way of having films that have crossed the $1 billion mark in India. And it looks like Race 3 is going to be headed in the same direction as far as box office returns are going to go, going just by the reaction to the film's trailer.
Now, the man who helped create the Marvel universe of comic characters Stan Lee is suing his former production company. His legal claim is over the sale of POW Entertainment to a Chinese firm back in 2017. Stan Lee says his former colleagues didn't give him the full terms of the sale. He signed away the exclusive rights to his name, his likeness, his identity and image in perpetuity. He's suing for $1 billion and thanked his fans for their support on Twitter.
Hey, true believers, I just want to tell you I love your comments on Twitter. I don't know how much I've been missing now that I see them, and I just want you to know I appreciate everything you say and do. I love you all, and let's keep up this great relationship. Excelsior.
Well, there's a royal wedding this weekend, if you haven't heard. So we thought we'd take you through what the royal family are worth. And while they're mostly ceremonial, they do take on an important role furthering the UK's soft power. Have a look at this.
Queen Elizabeth II is Britain's longest-serving monarch. And with a £340 million budget, the Windsors receive more than any other European royal family. But what do the royals offer Britain? From the death of Princess Diana, to William's marriage to Kate, and of course Harry's marriage to Meghan, the world is obsessed with Britain's royal family. The royals reportedly generate $767 million a year in tourism revenue, drawing visitors to various attractions around Britain. But that's not their only impact. The Queen is an important part of brand UK. Her marketability contributes £160 billion annually to British exports, especially in luxury goods.
These happy celebrations will remind us of the
And it's not just the Queen who's good for profit. Before a scandal forced him to step down, Prince Andrew was the UK trade envoy, earning the nickname Airmiles Andy. Though Prince Andrew didn't receive a salary for his role, between 2010 and 2011, he visited 15 countries and has been credited as a dealmaker lobbying for UK business overseas. The royals also have an important political role, from inviting President Xi to a banquet at Buckingham Palace to entice Chinese investment, to Prince Charles's visit to Finsbury Park Mosque, showing his support for Britain's Muslim community after an attack on worshippers. The royals have been harnessed as an important diplomatic resource and are an important reason why the UK was ranked second globally for the reach of its soft power.
And Ramadan has begun here in Turkey, so Hayırlı Ramazanlar. And Google has come up with some new software specifically for the holy month. They've created this, which is an augmented reality app that'll help users find Mecca. They've also made something called Kalam, which helps people make 3D Ramadan greeting cards like the ones you're seeing. The company say they've also refined their algorithm so it's more intuitive to Ramadan-related searches. Now, the internet is having one of those moments. Remember a few years back, there was that dress that some people saw as gold, and some people saw as blue, and some people saw as white, and some people saw as gold. Well, now there's an audio version. An influencer called Chloe Feldman posted some audio to her Instagram and asked whether people were hearing Yanny or Laurel. Have a listen.
Laurel, 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 Laurel.
Now, it's quite obviously Laurel, but my producer who was listening to it this morning said after a few plays, she started hearing Yanny. And another one of my colleagues said there was a secret third option, Yerry. Now, what did you hear? Let us know in the comments. That's all from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to us with your questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions on whether it's Yanny or Laurel. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Follow, subscribe, and add. See you tomorrow.